This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Well, April 29th will mark the end of Donald Trump's first 100 days in office. Presidents try to get a lot done in their first 100 days because they're typically riding high on a wave of popularity that propelled them into the White House in the first place. To mark this occasion, let's briefly compare Trump's first 100 to Barack Obama's. First, for me, it's very easy to sum up a comparison between the first 100 days of the Obama and Trump administrations. Obama's focused on protection, and Donald Trump's, it focused on rejection. Obama signed the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act, which aided in the protection of women against unfair pay practices. He expanded the state's Children Health Insurance Program, which funded the protection of working families and their benefits related to medical coverage. He also signed a presidential memorandum directing the Department of Transportation to strengthen environmental standards for fuel efficiency, and it allowed states to create even stronger standards than the federal government. This move was standing in the gap in protection of our precious environment. Donald Trump, on the other hand, yikes. He signed and then subsequently amended an executive order banning Muslims from entry into the United States from certain countries. Countries which he coincidentally didn't personally do business with. Coincidentally. These were blatant rejections of our Constitution and fundamental ideas of fairness and freedom. Also, these attempts, of course, were struck down as unconstitutional multiple times by multiple courts. Also, Donald Trump and his rogue Republican Congress rushed through a bizarre, failed attempt to repeal Obamacare without an adequate replacement. This was a rejection of the wishes and well-being of tens of millions of Americans who now have health insurance, many for the very first time in their lives. The other thing Donald Trump did was fill a stable of advisors with dubious ties to the election-meddling Russia. Not only did his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, lie about meetings with Russian officials, so did his Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. And the man he named personally to be the National Security Advisor, Mike Flynn, well, he was forced out in shame because of his disturbingly questionable allegiances to hostile foreign powers. This is clearly a rejection of basic and decent good old American patriotism and a disgusting display of doing what's best for Donald Trump. Look, I'd be remiss if I also didn't mention that at the end of Barack Obama's first 100 days, he was sitting at about a 65% approval rating, while Donald Trump is struggling to crack the 40% mark. Look, in doing this, I only had a very brief time to make a handful of comparisons. This list could be far more comprehensive. In light of what I did mention here, though, I have a question. Where are all these Republicans who claim to love their country? Where are all these Republicans who claim to love other Americans? It's clear to me, and I hope it's clear to you, that we got a raw deal here. If the remainder of Donald Trump's time in office is anything like his first 100 days, there's going to be a whole lot more rejection and a whole lot less protection. Hey everybody, thank you so much for checking out my channel and this video. If you like what I do here and you appreciate it, go ahead and click subscribe. And if you really like it and appreciate what I do and you'd like to join my Patreon family, there's another link there for that. It's not just for the podcast. It's also for YouTube. Thanks a lot.